Thank you for joining us for your reporter behind the story. Your reporter Kelly Werthmann stays in touch with many people she's connected with and reported on over the years, including a couple who lost everything in the Marshall Fire. You may remember Kelly's story about the unique donation that Fallon and Fleetwood Matthews got after the fire, a bunch of elk meat. Fleetwood is an avid bow hunter and lost his first harvested bull elk in that fire. When a Parks and Wildlife officer heard their story, that officer then donated the elk meat to Fleetwood and Fallon. Now, more than 3 years later, Kelly went to Louisville to reunite with the Matthews inside their rebuilt home and learn how Fallon is using their experience of great loss to bring hope and healing to that community.
Time of just devastation, like there are silver linings. So not all is lost, even though it might feel like it is.
And how about this for a silver lining? Fleetwood and his wife found a temporary home that's just down the street from
You know, a lot has changed since I last stood here, most notably this beautiful home. Like many Marshall survivors, this rebuild took years. And for this family, it was really just the beginning. So what are you growing?
Got a lot of tomatoes, zucchini, lettuce, what else? Cantaloupe. I've never done a garden like this. I don't really know what I'm doing, but...
You're figuring it out as you go.
But we're figuring it out. Right? Yeah. That is Feather Locklear. The other one that looks like her is Amelia Earhart. She likes to fly all over the place. Yeah, that's right, you know better. As you can see, I chose white for the walls because we love art.
Every corner of Fallon and Fleetwood Matthews' home tells a story.
I kept this as one of the more significant things that I found after the fire that meant a lot to me, that is irreplaceable.
Some spaces decorated with charred remnants of the past.
Oh my
This is my grandfather's tie clip.
Others with something new.
Art heals.
Perhaps the most eye-catching art is this 8-foot custom piece, literally layered with the couple's story of the Marshall Fire.
He had the canvas prep for us, and he said, just go crazy on the canvas, get it all out. So we wrote lots of swear words on there.
These are the original building plans, like that were actually used to build this house.
What do the tally marks represent?
There's 716 of them, one for every day we weren't home. I don't know, if it's there, then it doesn't need to be here.
It's too much. Feeling really overwhelmed with the support from everybody, and gonna try to keep it together. My wedding dress, all of our photos, family heirlooms. It's all gone.
There's one last look there from the street. Unbelievable. It's just unbelievable, all of it.
What was the rebuilding process like?
Excruciating? Yeah, it was a lot. It was a big fight. But I think both my husband and I are fighters. And we're not gonna go down easy.
We're putting on the roof. We're excited and starting to feel real, finally. We're ready to move back home.
And just when the couple thought their fight to rebuild and get back home was over, another fight began.
About 3 months after moving home, I went in for my 40-year-old routine mammogram and was diagnosed with breast cancer. I broke down with the nurse in that room, and I just said, I can't do one more thing right now. Like, I can't do this right now.
For the last year, Fallon has endured a series of grueling cancer treatments and surgeries.
Double mastectomy with delayed reconstruction, radiation, and now hormone therapy. It's important for healing for me to process what I've been through.
Using her passion and profession of aerial dance to process not only her own grief and fear, but help others do the same.
The more you try to fight it, the more it's gonna take over.
It's an important message Fallon is pouring into her upcoming show, Embers, Petals, and Stars. A 3-part aerial dance production she's directing at Denver's Elaine Wolf Theater, with the first act rooted in the loss and recovery from the Marshall Fire.
This story is so much bigger than just like my story of the Marshall Fire.
I don't know if you can see it, but there's my header bar for my rig. Something tells me it's not safe to hang on that anymore.
It's a story about grief and resilience and rebuilding. We've all felt something like that in some way. We all can connect to that.
Okay, here we go.
I am in remission.
It's pretty okay. I think it's more than okay.
I've had a lot of grief in my life, but what I've learned most about grief is that it doesn't go away. So those moments where you're starting to feel overwhelmed with it, to like let that live and breathe through you, and then let it move and let it go.
Just an incredible story. Kelly joins me now. Kelly, obviously art is such an important piece for Fallon in Fleetwood. How has that helped them, given everything that they have been through over the last several years?
I mean, it's really incredible what they've been through, right? And I think the most compelling part to me in that interview that I had when I got to go back to their home was exactly what Fallon said. If it's there, then it doesn't have to be here. Right? And so their 8-foot piece is really significant, right? With all the layers from the insurance checks to the renderings and all of that. But I think what a lot of people might be able to relate to when it comes to art is sometimes we see a piece, whether it's a painting or a picture or a structure of some kind, that just somehow resonates, and it allows you to process a feeling that maybe you've been unknowingly holding on to, and then finding that release. It can also just be a beautiful reminder of how far you've come, in their case, of the 716 plus days it took for them to get back home after the fire. It's just healing, you know, to have something that can remind you of something so powerful.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful piece, born from obviously such terrible and tragic events. So you have the art at the house, and then you have the art of aerial dance as well. Let's talk a little bit more about that production, how it all came together, and how people can see it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Fallon has her own company, In the Wings Aerial, and she's got a passion for art, clearly, and I think in her own movement, it's something that she enjoys doing. It's great for, she says, great for her body, which also then, you know, after her diagnosis, it was part of that recovery to rebuild strength. So it's really cool that this production that she started working on even before her diagnosis, she was telling me, that was helping her process her own story of the Marshall Fire, but then she worked with other people that they're in the production for having these 3 different pieces. So there's that first act that's rooted in the Marshall Fire. There's a second act that's a bit more hopeful, and then a third act that's going to have that same hopeful feeling that will allow people to process perhaps their own emotions, whatever they might be coming in with, but leaving on a happy note. It's coming to the Elaine Wolf Theater at the Denver JCC. It's happening both Friday and then 2 shows on Saturday, on August 21st and August 22nd. We've got all the information at cbscolorado.com.
I know a lot of people are going to be looking forward to seeing that. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this segment the story of the elk meet.
Yeah.
And I know Fallon and Fleetwood actually had you over for dinner.
They did.
Tell me about how that came about.
Yeah, so that story was just so great, too. I mean, it was that silver lining that Fleetwood talked about. There we are having dinner. That was in their temporary home. And let me tell you, elk is delicious. I had it once before, but I forgot how good it was. But as we kind of mentioned, so Fleetwood is an avid bow hunter, and he had just really gotten into it, harvested his first bull elk. He lost that. CPW learned of it. That was CPW officer Sam Peterson. And, you know, just was this gesture, and it gave both Fleetwood and Fallon this symbol of kindness and hope within their community that things can move forward, and that it's forged this wonderful friendship. They were so thankful for the story that I did, highlighting that really kind act, that they invited me then to their home to have that elk steak dinner. Fleetwood is a fantastic chef, for what it's worth.
It looked like it.
Yeah, no, it was a great meal, and it was just really great to see them outside of the story.
Yeah. Well, I love everything about that. Obviously, a great gesture by CPW. I love that they had you over for that.
Yeah.
You know, we talk a lot here at CBS News Colorado about the importance of being in the community and building relationships, and obviously you do such a great job of that. And this story is an example of that. Talk a little bit about why it's so important to keep those relationships with people that you do stories on, because here we are years later still talking about your relationship with the Matthews.
Yeah, well, to me, I was just so grateful that they saw something in that story that I first did with them that allowed them to understand that, you know, I went beyond the headline a little bit, right? And like that they trusted me to share what was going on in their lives at such a vulnerable time. I mean, they literally lost everything in the Marshall Fire. And so I just have always had it be in my reporter blood, if you will, in the almost 20 years I've been doing this, that my commitment to covering Colorado, my commitment to sharing stories of the people who live here and who are impacted by what's going on in our communities is to just go beyond that. We're human, right? We connect on some level of whatever it may be. And so I am so grateful for the friendship that I have ultimately then built with Fallon and Fleetwood. And I just hope it shows that what we do here is a connection that's beyond a headline. We're humans as well. And we are grateful for the trust in the community to share those stories.
Well, it really is a great story, and grateful that the Matthews were willing to share that with you and open up to you. And I think it speaks to you as a person and as a reporter that they were willing to do that. So thank you, Kelly, for everything that you do. And thank you for logging on to CBS News Colorado and CBSColorado.com. A reminder, Kelly is one of your reporters in Aurora. You can leave her your news tip or message on the number that you see on your screen right there, or send her an email to yourreporter@cbs.com.